Hello, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Have we seen evidence that Ripple are going to win the SEC lawsuit? Well, I'm sure you guys looked with glee when we saw the Gary Gensler hearing. I've left this picture up that I found that I think adequately shows exactly how much of a great time Gary Gensler was having at the hearing, and I'm sure we was all rejoicing seeing him get absolutely grilled. But yeah, I've seen some people across Twitter who've basically been saying that he was asked if XRP was a security, and he was asked if ETH was a security, and just the way he was just trying to squirm his way out of answering the questions. They was basically saying that this is proof that Ripple are going to win the SEC lawsuit. Now, I'm not sure if they're saying that in the matter of like, oh, this is all proof and this is actual factual evidence, or if they're just kind of going off a hunch. But I did want to address it either way, because I do feel like some people were saying it like it was a fact and this was all, you know, like the conspiracy theory stuff have shown that, oh, you know, this is all happening now because it's in line of them SEC losing the lawsuit, etc. I want to say one of two things, okay? So, first and foremost, I don't think this is factual evidence that they're going to lose. Okay? I don't think this is factual evidence that SEC are going to lose the lawsuit. I don't think this is like some secret conspiracy stuff going on behind the scenes that's showing that they're going to lose. But I will say this. I do think this is very, very positive for Ripple. So while I'm not going to say that this means it's factually evident that this means that Ripple are going to win, I do think this actually does show that things are very much looking in their favor. And not just that, let's just look at it from this perspective, right? So you've got Judge Annalisa Torres and Judge Netburn, who are seeing this hearing. Okay, so let's just imagine they might have some reservations. They're currently, going through the lawsuit. They're, looking at the evidence, trying to compile their decision. Well, I think it's just Torres right now who's giving the decision. But yeah, they both could be looking at it just out of sheer interest and, working together and discussing the case, right? So the decision is being compiled. Well, let's just say you may have had some doubts and been thinking, well, the SEC, government organization, upstanding corporation for many, many years, looking after investors, etc. Well, when you see this grilling in front of Congress and just how hypocritical and how bad Gary Gensler looked when the magnifying glass was put on him, would you not start to think, well, actually, yeah, even Congress are actually starting to expose this guy and make him look like a bit of a corrupt fraud, right? So now I'm actually thinking, if they did have doubts about Gary Gensler's intentions, for example, well, would this hearing have maybe made them have a bit more confidence in the fact of, oh no, this really does look shady, and the way he's answering these questions and ducking, trying to really give any real answer or anything like that, and trying to avoid all the tough questions, is that actually showing that, yeah, like he really hasn't got a clue what he's talking about in this lawsuit? I was trying to give him the benefit of doubt and the SEC the benefit of doubt, but looking at him here, he really doesn't seem to be able to give a coherent answer as to what are securities and what not. And it was another thing that was said out loud that, they were saying that they're damaging crypto in the USA, which I completely agree with. I've said this numerous times, and this is why I was kind of confused as to why people hadn't stepped in already, because crypto is an emerging technology. You don't want to stifle this. You want to be one of the first people to adopt it, because the people who adopt it will be the people who really benefit from it. So it makes sense to want to get on this very quick, to be one of the early movers. You don't really want to be the people who get left behind and suffer from this. Let's just think about the money that crypto can bring in, the money that's already brought in. And if people just start saying, well, we're going to set up shop elsewhere, we're not going to do business in USA because there's no legal clarity, look at all that money that's leaving the country. And the country's already in a bad way as it is. The dollar is getting printed to just ridiculous volume. So this is the kind of thing that could be helping to stimulate the economy, right? Create more jobs. So it does just make me wonder, after seeing this grilling and seeing, hey, it's not like the government are all on the same page here. Like Congress they've just completely humiliated Gary Gensler. You know, like whether he gets fired or not, let's put that to the side. He's been disgraced. Like, make no mistake, this whole session, this whole hearing was just an absolute grilling. And he just got called out on everything. And rightfully so, because this was stuff that needed to be said. Because crypto needs to be saved from Gary Gensler. Now, my only hope is that some of the things that were proposed really do get looked into and hopefully approved. There was someone who said they want to try and potentially remove Gary Gensler out of his position and potentially not even have like a main chair anymore. This could be a good idea, because I said this in a previous video. What if you just get replaced by someone who's just like Gary Gensler? Because before Gary Gensler was Jay Clayton, and Jay Clayton was the person who put the Ripple lawsuit out. So you could just get someone who's just the same mind frame as Gary Gensler, and then the cycle just continues. So I think this is actually a great idea. Now, whether it'll get implemented, obviously I don't know. This is something that they're going to have to put forward to Congress, etc., and it'll have to go through getting passed like a bill. But I just hope that some type of action is being taken, because it's all good having these sessions where you're grilling the chairman and putting him to account, but you kind of need action as well, because otherwise he can just go home, brush himself off, and continue on with what he's trying to do. So we don't want this to just be like a little slap in the wrist, a little telling off, and then, okay, he just ignores it because no one can, do anything about it. You want to try and make some action to try and really make him feel the repercussions of his actions, right? So, yeah, that's just some food for thought, just a quick video. Would I say it's evidence that Ripple are definitely going to win? No, but I definitely think if I was a judge and I was seeing this video, I'd start to lose confidence in Gary Gensler myself. And it would make me think, if I did have any doubts about their intention, it would make me think twice, because when he's being called out on it, he really didn't have a lot to say. He was stuttering over himself, shaking, couldn't really speak, just ducking pretty much any question that had any kind of hard answer. He just didn't want to give anything straight. He was just being very vague and trying to avoid giving any type of real answer. So this might give the judge more confidence to say, yeah, it like seems like Ripple's right. Like look at what he's doing, and all the Congress are not happy with him. So I already kind of had this in mind, and now this has just solidified my decision. Yeah, I actually do agree with Ripple, and they should win this lawsuit. So this potentially could have been one of the things that really certifies the decision. Not saying that's a definite fact, but just maybe it will. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with this? Do you think this has pretty much sealed the deal for Ripple? Do you think this doesn't really change anything? And do you think Gary Gensler's maybe in the right? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'd be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.